Hello again, everyone. Edwin Learnard back once again. In this YouTube astrological segment, I'm going to be talking about medical astrology and the North Node. Now, we're talking about the North Node medical astrology. North Node can often be about and manifest in issues that one may have to confront or address. And I don't think this would exclude health-related ones. Now, excuse me, if we look at the sign that the North Node is in, if you have it, say, in Leo, in some cases it could be some issues with the problems like with the heart or spine or upper back or stroke. But if it, especially like if you have it in the sixth house of health or have it in the first house of health, remember that the North Node is about energy that is often going to be expressed more in that second half of your life. It may be after age 30 or 35. And generally, health-related matters generally will not come as frequently until you get into that stage of your life. And also contacts with other planets, of course, can play a role, but I will talk about that later on in the video. Now, the thing about it is, now let's say it could also play, the North Node could actually play a role in your stature and size. Let's say, for example, if you have the ascendant, if the North Node is conjunct your ascendant or your sun in your natal chart, you may be taller than average, or it may even add height to you. For example, like let's take a legendary NFL quarterback, Tom Brady. He has the North Node in his first house. I believe it's in his first house, and it's conjunct his ascendant. He's like 6'4". Now he has Libra rising, which could often be taller than average anyway, and then he has the North Node conjuncted on top of it. If you have the North Node conjunct your descendant, then of course the South Node would be conjunct your ascendant, and you could be maybe shorter, a lot of times smaller in stature and shorter than height on average. Remember, the North Node is moving forward. It's like going upward. And you're talking, and when it's on your ascendant or sun, you have a better chance of going, you could say, going forward ahead as far as your height goes. If the South Node is on the ascendant, it could be going the other way, and you may be shorter than average. The South Node on the ascendant could be, I would say, comparable to being Saturn on the ascendant, and then the North Node on the ascendant could be like Uranus on the ascendant. If I'm not mistaken, prolific comedian, the talk show host, well, Conan O'Brien has Uranus conjunct his ascendant. Magic John, former prolific NBA player, Magic Johnson, I think, has his Uranus conjunct his sun, and of course they're both well taller than average. Conan O'Brien has a Virgo ascendant, and that's generally Virgo ascendant on average, I would say, tends to be like middle stature or medium in height is down on average. So anyway. Now, when you're talking about the North Node being involved in transit, it can manifest in health-related issues as well at times. Now, let's take actress Alyssa Milano for example. Now, some of you may have heard. Okay, Alyssa Milano she's an actress. She was on probably best known for the role on Who's the Boss when she played Tony Danza's daughter. Is his name on the show is I believe Tony Maselli, and he played her. She played his daughter on the show. Now, the thing about it is, Alyssa Milano in recent time, she had contracted the coronavirus. Initially, there were like three, I guess you could say, false negative tests. Now, at the time she had it, she had transit Pluto, fairly close proximity to her natal North Node in Capricorn. We are talking about the North Node again in astrology when it's involved. When you have it involved in transit, one way or the other, it can manifest in issues one may have to address or confront. Pluto can be associated with viruses. It also can be associated with death. She felt like she was actually dying during that time, and the coronavirus can be potentially perilous. Now, And being in Capricorn, I mean, the sign of restrictions and despondency as well. I'm sure this was not a very enjoyable experience for her, and I'm glad she is out of this. Okay, she had the there were some false negative results initially. There's like three false negative results on the testing for the coronavirus, but then she found out later she had the antibodies in her blood, so she actually did have the coronavirus. But anyway, now another thing is that when we look at some cases, the North Node conjunct an astrological point in a chart may result in some issues as well, that as far as health related matters. I mean, connected with that planet and maybe even the sign that North Node is in. And if you have the North Node, say in your chart, it's conjunct you're going back to the Sun. It could manifest in issues where at maybe the second ladder, the second half of one's life, there may be issues with the heart, the upper back. It could be just the physical body in general. The Sun and the ascendant can be very strongly tied in with the physical body. Yes, the ascendant is what dominates the appearance and physical body and even health related matters, but the sun can still play a role in that as well. So I mean, if you have the North Node in Gemini conjunct your Sun in Gemini, that could be issues related with the lungs, the shoulders, the arms, the hands, the respiratory system, which you might have to address later on in your life, in that second half of your life, perhaps after the age of 30, 35. Now, another thing too, also it's important, I mean, you look at issues like North Node in a progressed chart may play a role in debilitations, health-related issues. Now, let's say, for example, in your progressed chart, you have the North Node, say it's conjunct your moon in your progressed chart. Now, that could manifest in issues with the stomach, the chest, the breast area. Say if it's in Virgo, it could be more worrisome issues. And especially, I mean, let's say if you have it in the sixth or in the first house. The sixth house can be connected with physical health. First house, the physical body. If you have something like that on the say even if you have the North Node in your progress chart in the sixth house, even if it's not conjuncting anything, let's say it's making an inconjunct aspect to your ascendant in the progress chart, that could manifest in health related issues, perhaps one associated with the sign the North Node is in. Anyway, another thing too is also looking at the North Node in synastry. That may play a role as well, and it might actually be beneficial. I mean, if somebody has in a synastry aspect, have the North Node on someone's Sun, their ascendant, or their Mars, well, that could be, the North Node person could very well play a role in the future of the health of physical related matters with the Sun, ascendant, or Mars person. The North Node person might be like a trainer, might be some physical fitness person, might be a doctor or physician to the Sun, ascendant, or Mars person. So, and really, you look at something like this, and not say it would always be positive. Sometimes it might actually be negative. A lot of it might be predicated or dependent on other aspects that are in the synastry in the person's chart. I mean, let's say, that North Node person has their Saturn in that other person's sixth house. It might be somebody that might actually be to their detriment to some degree, health as far as matters with their other person's physical body, but it can be but it does depend a lot on the other aspects. So I think a lot of cases the North Node person would actually play a role in that future of that person's health, and it may very well be for the better in a lot of instances. Now, anyway, people, well, that'll conclude this YouTube astrological segment. Until next time, people, Edwin Learnard saying, stay well.